Typically, there are three phases of any job application. Number one, your resume gets screened by the system, the softwares, for example, job portals, then the ATS. Second, the recruiter or the hiring manager screens out your resume. And third, your face-to-face interview. So before any recruiter or hiring manager screens out your resume, means any human eye can see your resume gets through a lot of screening by softwares, applications commonly known as ATS, application tracking system. Some of the companies have outsourced this and some has their own in-house ATS plus the job portals and stuff like that. A very important point to note here is, if your resume does not score well on the keyword match score of these softwares, it will never reach a human eye. Then it does not matter how skilled you are, how fancy your resume looks, how classy the format of your resume is. And I'm not sure why people are not talking about such a sensible point in today's time, because everybody is aware about it, but not many people are talking about it. They are simply telling you to do the fancy formats or to design it in a certain way. Understand the importance of it through this example. Say a recruiter posted a position of software engineer on Naukri.com. Now the recruiter typically will wait for the applications to come in, and on an average a recruiter gets more than 100 profiles per day for such generic positions. Now recruiter can't screen hundreds of resume in one single day, right? That's obvious. So these job portals provide a feature where they filter out or sort these applications on the basis of their keyword score, and they call it as 5-star application, 4-star application, and goes to 1-star application, with 5-star being the top matched. And now if there are already 30 plus resumes which are falling into the category of 5-star application, then why the recruiter will even look at the resumes which are into other categories? Even if they are good, but the perception will be the one which are highly matched with the keywords that they have put in will be the best. So in this video, more than the fancy formats, you will learn three things. And the number one is how you can rank higher in the algorithm of these job portal softwares or systems. Second, what to write and how much to write. And third, the most debated thing, what should be the optimum length of your resume. These are going to be very rare insights about resume screening process. You will hardly find them on the platform. So stay tuned to harness the maximum benefit out of this session. Welcome to Corporate Diaries. Welcome back guys. Let's see how we can craft a winning resume. And to start with, we'll start with a very important point that I said is to make it system friendly or to make it software friendly so that it can reach a human eye. Take a look at this image. You must have seen it somewhere, right? Yes, I took it from Naukri portal. So whenever a recruiter posts a position on Naukri.com or several job boards, they ask the recruiter to put in some keywords related to the position they are posting. Now these keywords are your gateway. When you are applying for the role, make sure that your resume has all of these, because if they have all of these, there are higher chances of the resume to rank well in the algorithm and it might reach recruiter's eye. Now even if the recruiter hasn't posted anything and is directly searching from the Naukri database or other job portals database, the resumes who will match best with the keywords put in by the recruiters will rank higher in the search. So it's very important that you target all possible keywords for the profile for which you have been searching for. as a job. So when you are writing your resume, make sure either you carved out a different dedicated section for the keywords. Maybe you can do it on the bottom of the page with comma separated keywords, or you can just seamlessly add them in the sentences that you're framing. For example, instead of writing I have 1 year of experience in Java, write I am a Java developer with expertise of Java J2EE application, Spring framework, and just keep on adding the skills in the sentence. Now in this way you have added the keywords seamlessly. So I hope you got the clarity how you have to do this, and you have to make sure that you pay attention to these keywords, and especially the star ones. They are the most preferred skills, so don't miss on them. You have to add them. But there's another point that you have to keep in mind, and that is don't put everything. Say for example you wish to rank for Java skills, so don't put something which is not relevant. Maybe some other languages that you might be equally good at or little less good at, but you want to highlight those as well. So don't do that, because that will confuse the system. Then you will not be able to rank for Java keywords. So make sure that you pick your niche where you want to rank higher, and then concentrate to design or write your resume as per that. Another point to note here is that instead of using fancy words, prefer using simple words, because these systems, softwares are designed to understand and read the most commonly used keywords. If there is a word which is rarely used or just have come into use in last 2-3 years, and before people were not using it in the industry, then there are less chances that the system is upgraded to that. System might not be able to take that. So make sure instead of fancy words you use common words. So now let's move to our second learning from this session, and that is what to write and how much to write. Now I'm sure most of you watch Bollywood movies. How long are they? 2 hours, 2.5 hours approximately. And how long is their trailer? 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Why is that so? Because 2.5 minute trailer is sufficient enough to grab attention of the audience. The entire story or the rest of the story should be kept to watch in theaters. If there is too much already shown in the trailer, people would assume there is nothing much left to be understood. They will avoid going to the theaters. But if the trailer is very captivating and there seems to be a lot more to be understood beyond that trailer, then it will attract a lot of audience. How good or bad the story actually is will become secondary. That result will come out later, but it will definitely attract people to watch it. That's exactly what you have to keep in your mind while crafting your resume. So let's get started. There is a myth associated with resume writing, and that is if you write more, there is much more chance to get shortlisted. While the reality is, it is not so. If you write so much, it will overshadow the important things that should be highlighted in your resume. With so much clutter put in, the recruiter might just miss on the key points or the key factors he or she has been looking into your resume, and they receive hundreds of resume for daily screening. If your resume could not grab their attention, or if something important or interesting in your resume don't grab their attention in first few seconds, then you're gone. So how much to write? So there is this technique that you can follow. Write all what's in your resume and leave all the hows to the interview part. Writing your what's means what you have learned so far, what you have achieved so far, what you are capable of doing. And the how part is how you can bring value to the organization you are applying for, how your skills are a good match to the position, how you reached to this point in your career, how you scaled up basically in the industry. Hope you understand the context little bit. So what happens is if you write everything there, then the manager himself will feel that he is not listening anything new. There's nothing new you are talking. He is hearing what you have already written in the resume, which will sound repetitive and boring to the listener, and they'll assume that you have nothing much beyond what you have already written in the resume. So that plays a very negative part. Now moving towards the third learning from this video, the length of the resume, the perfect length of the resume. Now there's also a myth associated with the length of the resume, and that is the lengthy resume means more experience, hence more expertise. And the reality is no, that's absolutely wrong. There is no such thing called as perfect length of a resume. When I was a fresher, all I thought about a perfect resume was its length. I hated my one-page resume. No matter how much I experimented with the type of font and size of font, it still ended up in one page, and believe me, I hated it. Now I know how stupid I was, but I wish at that point in time somebody would have told me this, which I'm sharing with you all now. The shortest space possible which you can use to describe your talent well is the perfect length. So if I tell you guys that the perfect length is just single page of resume, and while writing it you feel that one page is already done, but there is something left which is important to be mentioned, and it is a kind of highlighted skill in your profile, then please go ahead and write it. Don't be reluctant to add that another page, because everybody has a different story and they want to tell it differently, and there's nothing wrong in that. But definitely the profile shouldn't be exaggerated and lengthy, but at the same time it shouldn't miss on any important point or information that you wish to share with the recruiter. And there is another major drawback of having a lengthy resume or putting in everything in the resume, and that is you will be bound to prove everything which you have written in the resume. For example, you have 10 skills that you wish to mention and you mentioned all of them. Now you will be bound to prove yourself good at those 10 skills. If you are not able to do so for 3-4 of them, that will be counted as a negative mark. Now say you have 10 skills, on the other hand you choose to define only 5 on the resume and you leave the rest 5 for the interview. Now when you are done proving yourself good at those 5 skills and you add on few more, you pitch in few more in front of the hiring manager or the recruiter, it will act as a bonus point. They'll feel, oh wow, he has that as well in his forte, he is capable of doing that as well. It's surprising, but that's how it works. So why to invite more unnecessary questions in an interview when there are already enough with the shortest possible resume? So avoid doing all these mistakes while crafting your resume. And as I said in the beginning, the most important step for a job search or in a job hunting is to rank well in systems or softwares, because only then a human eye will be able to see your resume, and then you will reach a stage where you will be showcasing your talent in a face-to-face interview. Otherwise your resume will get stuck in those systems and nobody will be ever able to view your skill set or your capabilities. That's all for today, guys. I hope you learned something new in this segment, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button so that the content reaches more people in algorithm and more people like you can benefit from it. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care. Bye.